Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, in the county of Shelby, in the state of Tennessee. Today, early Sunday morning, September the 17th, 2017, time 6:05 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for the continued encouragement, support, continue to keep myself employed right here in this Memphis tri-state area. I'll continue to further my education, Monroe College online, pursuing my social media study, business administration, concentration, marketing. The music here in the background is Radio Africa Online. I'm doing my Instagram right now. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis, county of Shelby, the state of Tennessee. Today, early Sunday morning, September the 17th, 2017, time 6:06 a.m. First, I thank all my family, my support for your routine, encouragement, and support. The music here in the background is Radio Africa Online. As always put God first. We always want to thank God for all His blessings and His guidance. I'm doing my Periscope now. Hello everybody, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis in the county Shelby in the state of Tennessee. Today's date is early Sunday morning, September 17, 2017, time 6:11 a.m. First, I thank all my fans. Thank all my fans, my support for continue encouraging and support and continue to keep music here in the background. There's Radio Africa Online. There's Radio Africa Online playing the music. Now, let me turn this music down. Radio Africa Online. Now, I know it's 6 o'clock in the morning, 6 in the morning. But we're gonna continue to talk about African traditional religion. As you know, African traditional religion is being taught in institutions of higher learning, meaning colleges and universities in sub-Saharan Africa. You can earn a bachelor's degree, master's degree, you can earn a PhD studying African traditional religion. Now, now, one of the books we're going to continue to read from and we're going to refer to is titled West African Traditional Religion, written by Dr. Joseph Omisede with Lenu Dr. P. Adalumo Lupemu. Another book we're going to continue to read from and refer to is titled African Traditional Religion and Definition, written by Dr. E. Baloja Adobu. Another book we're going to continue to read from and refer to is titled African Religions and Philosophy, written by Dr. John S. M. Beatty. Another book we're going to continue to read from and refer to is titled Concepts of God in Africa, written by Dr. John S. M. Beatty. Now, as you know, the United States government, as well as other governments all over the earth, all over the world, all over this globe, they pass laws to make each and every one of us safe. Now, the United States government passed a law, the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, and Title IX of the Organized Crime Control Act is the Racketeer, Influence, and Corrupt Organizations Act, the RICO Act. Now, hold on. And also, the United States government passed the Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substances Act, the Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, and the Kingpin Statute. It's all anti-gang. It's all anti-gang. Also, there's anti-gang. The Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, as well as other related legislation. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and Comprehensive Gang Model, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Justice Program, and the United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, United States Department of Justice, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, Project Safe Neighborhoods. The United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Police and Service, the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative. The Office of okay, had a little brief stoppage there, but tell you what I'm gonna do. We're gonna continue. All right, the Organized Crime Control Act of 1970, Title 9 of the Organized Crime Control Act, the Racketeer Influence Corrupt Organization Act, the RICO Act. It's all anti-gang. It's all anti-gang. It's hold up. Here we go. The Comprehensive Drug Abuse Prevention and Control Act of 1970, the Controlled Substance Act, the Psychotropic Substances Act, Continuing Criminal Enterprise Statute, or the Kingpin Statute. Now, it's all anti-gang. Just like the RICO Act, all, like I said, Organized Crime Control Act, the Racketeer Influence and Corrupt Organizations, all anti-gang. Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention Act of 1974 established the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, plus other related legislation. The Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, and Comprehensive Gang Model, Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, Bureau of Justice Assistance, Office of Justice Program, and United States Department of Justice. The Office of Justice Program, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, United States Department of Justice, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, and Project Safe Neighborhoods. And United States Department of Justice, Office of Community-Oriented Police and Service, Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, United States Department of Justice, Office of Justice Program, Bureau of Justice Assistance, International Narcotics and Law Enforcement Affairs. United States Department of State Institute for Intergovernmental Affairs, Gang Resistant Education and Training, the GREAT Program. United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention in October 2009, the National Youth Gang Center, which had been funded by the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention since 1995, merged with the National Gang Center, which had been funded by the Bureau of Justice Assistance since 2003. The National Gang Center, compilation of state laws against gangs. Now you can go to the National Gang Center website and you can be informed about the state laws against gangs, and also gang prevention, overview of research and program. Mr. James C. Howell, the Office of Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention, United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the Office of Juvenile Justice Delinquency Prevention, National Gang Center Bulletin. The title of that bulletin, History of Street Gangs in the United States. Now you can go to Wikipedia, you can find the same information in the title of that information, Gangs in the United States. Alright. Now, the United States Department of Justice, Office of the United States Attorney Manual, 1457 Criminal Street Gang Statute, 18 United States Code 521. The United States Department of Justice, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, National Gang Intelligence Center, the United States Department of Justice, Organized Crime and Gang Section, and you have other federal, state, and local agencies. United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, Anti-Gang Strategies, Prevention, Intervention, Assessment, and Suppression. United States Department of Justice, the Office of Justice Program, National Institute of Justice, United States Department of Health and Human Services, Center for Disease Control and Prevention, National Center for Injury Prevention and Control, Changing Course, Preventing Gang Membership, as well as striving to reduce youth violence everywhere. And also United States Department of Justice, United States Department of Education, United States Department of Health and Human Services, the United States Department of Housing and Urban Development, the United States Department of Labor, and the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy, National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention. You can go to youth.gov, you can be informed about the Comprehensive Anti-Gang Initiative, you can be informed about the Comprehensive Gang Model, you can be informed about the National Forum on Youth Violence Prevention. Also, the United States Department of Justice, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, the National Crime Prevention Council, Keeping Kids Out of Gangs. Also, anti-hazing. You go to lawyers.com, be informed about anti-hazing. Now, we've been continuing to address the serious issue about gangs and all this nonsense. And we've been going to the dictionary, and I have a dictionary of my own here. Merriam-Webster. And I also have Merriam-Webster Thesaurus. Now, what I'm gonna do right now, I want to turn to the word gang for a minute. I'll read it. Okay, now I'm gonna read what it says in the dictionary. Now I'm gonna have to take my glass off because I think on these eyeglasses here, the that eye condition, medical eye condition, what they call it, astigmatism. I didn't have it added on to these eyeglasses. So hold on for a minute. Now what I'm going to read is the word gang. Now, okay, it says gang. A set of implements. That is also the noun. It's a noun. Gang. A set of implements or devices arranged to operate together. That's number one. Number two, a group of persons working or associated together, especially a group of criminals or young delinquents. Gang. Number two, verb. To attack in a gang. Usually used with up. To gang up on. Okay. Number two, to form into or more or to form into or move or act as a gang. Okay. Now we're gonna go to the thesaurus. All right. Put this right here. Now I'm doing this for a reason. Now I'm gonna go to the thesaurus here. Gang. Now we read from the thesaurus. Okay, it says number one, gang is a noun. Number one, a group of people working together on a task. A gang of neighborhood residents spent the weekend cleaning up the park. Now synonyms: band, company, crew, outfit, party, squad, team. Then you have related words: army, battalion, brigade, corps, troop, force, host, posse, stable, troop, administration, department, help, personnel, staff. Number two, a group of people sharing a common interest and relating together socially. The whole gang went out for pizza. The school's computer hackers had their own little gang. Okay. Now you have synonyms: body, bunch, circle, clan, clique, community, coterie, crowd, fold, lot, ring, set. Then you have related words: BB, Kobe, flop, herd, horde, mob, swarm, throne, club, college, fellowship, guild, league, organization, society, cohort, pack, camp, faction, sect, side, tribe, mess, squad, brotherhood, fraternity, order, sisterhood, solidarity, sorority, commune, alliance, block, coalition, confederation, congress, council, federation, union. Then you have some near antonyms: lone individuals. Then you have number three, group. Number three, a group involved in secret or criminal activity. See ring. All right. All right, let me see here. Hold on. All right, this gang. All right, we just read gang. We're gonna go to mob. Okay. Okay, we got the word mob. Mob, number one, is a noun. Now it tells you here Latin, mobile vogus. That's what it tells you now. Facilitating crowd. Number one, masses, rabble. Number two, a disorderly crowd. Number three, a criminal gang. Alright, mob number two is a verb. Mob, number one, to crowd about and attack or annoy. Mob by fan. Number two, to crowd into or around. Shoppers mob the store. Okay. Alright. Now let's go to the thesaurus. Okay, now we're in the thesaurus. Mob. Number one, a great number of, mob is a noun. Mob is a noun. Now, number one, a great number of persons or things gathered together. See crowd, number one. Number two, a group involved in secret or criminal activity. See ring, number one. Okay, number three, the body of the community as contrasted with the elite. See mass, number one. Then you have mob as a verb. to move upon or feel something in great numbers. See, crowd too. Okay. All right. So okay. Now, see, when we be out on the street, and people make all kind of excuses to keep, to do the things that they do or say, say or do and all this, and they give you all these, sorry excuses. You understand? You don't have to accept their excuse, because there's no excuse. We just read it from the dictionary. We just read gang in the dictionary, Merriam-Webster dictionary, and the thesaurus. We read mob in the dictionary and the thesaurus. No excuse. No excuse. None. Zero. No excuse. Now, this weekend, we know that they had, we've been having to address this issue about the gangs and mob and all this nonsense, the goons, the hoods and the crooks and the bosses and what they call themselves, the thugs and the hoodlums and the hooligans and the pimps and the players and the hustlers and all the other nonsense they call themselves. Dumb cowards. Dumb cowards. That's what you are. You're a dumb coward. Now, we know that this weekend, based on the news reports, they had this, what they call the Unite the Right. They had the Unite the Right rally. They were still over there on the East Coast. And still over there talking about General Lee. That's the honest truth. They still talking about General Lee. The Unite the Right. They talking about heritage, not hate. That's the slogan that they tried to put out there. Heritage, not hate. Still trying to keep all the people that were supporting the gang. And so what they had this group called the New Confederate States of America. The New Confederate States of America. They was out there talking about Unite the Right. Bunch of nonsense, but we know that excuse me, their agenda was a gang. The agenda of the gang. All that stuff about General Lee, and then the people that was protesting, the counter protesters, the people who was trying to protest against the Nazis, and the people who were trying to preserve General Lee. And then one group, they're not the only group, but we had one group called themselves Antifa, but they weren't the only ones. But the news media reported about this Antifa group. It's a gang. And then you had some people calling themselves the anti-white supremacists, and it's all gang stuff, and all they do is use that as a way to keep the gang supporting the gang. And that's the reason why I read the dictionary, because we don't want to have people try to make this distinguishment about the internet. Like we use, just like you read, we read from Merriam-Webster dictionary and thesaurus, we read from it. But then when you go online, it's a little more advanced. You understand? They add a little, they do a little more. because you're online. You understand? But when you read from the dictionary, you read from the dictionary. You can go on your phone, just like I'm using my phone. Using my phone for Periscope and Facebook Live, and for social media. And, you can go live with your phone. You can also use your phone to go to Merriam-Webster, dictionary.com, dictionary.com, thesaurus.com, and so on. Oxford University, Cambridge University. You can go to Collins English Dictionary, Macmillan English Dictionary. You can use your phone. You can go online on your phone. But so that's the reason why I read from the dictionary for this reason. When you be out on the street, you understand? When you be out on the street, and some individuals try to be a smart ass, you understand? Because as you can see, it's not as broad, and it's a little limited. The dictionary and the thesaurus in the paperback is a little limited, and what it tells you, the information is a little limited. But when you be on the internet, it's vast information at your disposal. You understand? It's vast information at your disposal. But still, when you read from the dictionary, it clearly tells you it's a noun and it's a verb. It tells you in the dictionary that the word gang is a noun and it's a verb. It tells you that there were some implements. It tells you that mob is a noun, and it tells you that mob is a verb. It's important. It tells you it's a noun and it's a verb, dummy. You dumb coward. You don't know what a noun is. You don't know what a verb is. Dumb coward. Walking around out on the street talking about you a gang, you a gangster, you a mob, you a mobster. You a dumb coward. You don't even know what a noun is. You don't know what a verb is. You don't know what an adjective is. See, that's the problem. You don't even know how to read. See, a lot of you African Americans don't even know how to read. That's the problem. And then when you be on the street level, that's the reason why I read from the dictionary and the thesaurus. Because when you out on the street level, you come in contact with a lot of individuals that's in an age group, different age group. You got people that's older than me still walking around, still living, and uneducated. They illiterate. They unlearned. But they always walking around talking about they a gang, they a gangster, they a mob, they a mobster. They always walking around talking about some thug, walking around talking about some goon, talking about some boss, talking about they a player, talking about they a hustler, calling somebody a hoe. They always running their mouth. But you don't have no education. See? You don't have no education. Then they always walking around with a damn phone. Always walking around with a damn phone. You can go to dictionary.com on the phone. You can go to Merriam-Webster.com with the phone. Cambridge University, English Dictionary. Oxford University, English Dictionary. Collins, English Dictionary. Macmillan, English Dictionary. You can go on the phone, but your dumb coward self don't know how to read. You're a dumb coward. You don't even know what that means. You don't even know. That's a waste. Like I'm wasting my time. Call them about a dumb coward. They sitting there like they don't know what that is. They don't know what dumb means. They don't know what a coward means. You just dumb. You're a coward. Always walking around wearing some red and blue. Always walking around some green, some white, black. Always talking about a 5-point star and a 6-point star. You understand? Then had the nerve to talk about some damn literature. You just a dumb coward. See, when they were having that unite the right, it's you that they trying to keep, supporting the gang. See, this is what in my everyday life, I had to go to work. Give you an example. Now, I've been working a day job for a long time, and recently, I started working a night job. And just so happened, we've been talking about gangs and things this day. It just so happened something done on, I ain't been working on night job all the time. And then when I'm at home, when I'm not at work, I'm on no night job work. Most time, I be sleeping. I don't really just pay no attention to the radio in that way at nighttime. But it just so happened I was on my night job, and the radio was on. I'll give you an example. I'll give you a good example. A good example of the reason why it's so important. The reason why I do the things and what I'm doing about this gang stuff. I was on my night job, and the radio was on. And just so happened, one of these entertainers was on the radio at night, always on night, Monday through Friday. The so-called, Key Sweat, for example, Key Sweat, the Sweat Hotel, and I was on my night job. And I've been familiar with the Sweat Hotel and all this, Key Sweat. But he said something. He referred to himself in a way, and then it just dawned on me, on my night job, it dawned on me what he said, because I was walking around, I was just doing my job, but I was listening to the radio at night, and he always be on the radio from Monday through Friday, and this is a good example of what we were talking about the East Coast and the West Coast and up north, south, about this gang stuff and about slavery, the East African slave trade and the West African slave trade. See, he one of them East Coast guys, came from the East Coast up there in New York, then moved to Atlanta. He called himself OG Key Sweat. OG Key Sweat. And that's original gangster. And I was walking around at night on my night job, the Sweat Hotel. And at first I wasn't paying no attention. I was just doing my job. But then I was walking around, then it hit me. When I heard him say it, it's this OG Key Sweat at the Sweat Hotel. And I was walking around, it's like, and I kind of stopped for a minute. I thought about it. If he had been in the same way, I would have turned around. I would have looked. I would have asked him, "What did you just say to me?" If he had been close by, I swear I would have confronted. Did I just hear you say something like? It reminded me of like somebody being in a warehouse and they try to say some word like "cuz" around, on the inside of the warehouse. Because when you be on the outside of the warehouse, I tear your ass up. You understand? But see, I know on my job, I can't do certain things on my job. So some individuals had a notion in their mind that they getting away with something on the inside of the warehouse. See, that's the reason why I told you from 2017 and back. See, it's some individuals who had the gall, had the audacity to assume that you got away. That you got away with the wrong you done to me as well as to others. From 2017 and beyond. See, it's anti-gang. See, you thought you had got away in 2017 and back. See, you thought you got away. So now you assuming that 2017 and beyond, your ass gonna keep doing the same thing. See, I'm I'm making sure that don't nobody talk to me that way. You don't talk to me that way. You don't talk to me that way, because I know it's one thing I know about me. I don't take it. I don't take it. I don't take it. So I was walking around and it hit me. I'm like, what the hell? Because it was, see, at nighttime, see, I ain't always been working no night job. So when the radio was on at night, so you know the radio was on in the warehouse, and it was like the Sweat Hotel was on, and I was just walking around listening to some music. I really wasn't paying no attention to him, but it just, when he said it, OG Keith Sweat at the Sweat Hotel, now it hit me, man. I'm talking about, man, I was walking around and it just hit me. I'm like, man, if you had been in a warehouse, I would have had to confront it. It's almost like you just called me a bitch. Did you just say OG Keith? Did you just tell? And I know what I'm doing. I know I'm anti-gang. And then when I make my video, I try to make sure I try to convey to others anti-gang. Anti-gang. You understand what I'm saying? Anti-gang. You see, I know that there are others, and when I do my video, there are people whose lives have been changed for the better, from negative to positive. There are people who don't even want to support that nonsense. We go into the dictionary and they see that this nonsense is wrong. Slavery was wrong. All this denying the people, first of all, forcing people to be a slave is wrong, and all the cruel, man, you just can't even get all the words just to describe slavery. You know what I'm saying? Denying people education, and then gonna tell you to call yourself a gang and a mobster, gangster, a thug. Nobody in India making you say thug. But see, that's the way it made me feel when I heard it on the radio. And then there's other entertainers, you know, just like out there on the West Coast, in Los Angeles, all that blood gang and Crip gang and all that folk gang and my people gang up north, coming out of Chicago, and all this other gang, the Stones, and you know, all that nonsense. See, when you go to the dictionary, it tells you it's wrong. And then you think about all the groups of people on the earth. Everybody ain't you know, the German group and the Latin group, gang and mob. The German gang, the Latin mob. All that boss, that's German. Thug, that's Indian. Goon, that's English, German. All that nonsense you be saying out your mouth, it comes from Latin and German. When you say nigger, Latin, and then add some German to it. Race, German, come from Scotland. See, when you go to the dictionary, you find out what all these words mean. When you say Jew, Gentile, see, you find what these words mean. You see where they come from. And so, like I said, you know, like when I heard Keith Sweat, OG Keith, man, it just hit me, man. And like I've been saying, man, for 2017 and back, people be assuming they got away with the wrong they done. From 2017 and beyond, don't assume. Don't assume. Don't assume. I'm telling you, I don't take it, man. I don't take it. Don't assume. Now, we've been going to the and you know, just also don't forget coercion, sexual coercion, psychological coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse, coercion, coerce, sexual coercion, psychological manipulation, psychological abuse. See, that's what you're gonna find out. OG Key Sweat. See, you don't know what you're talking about, man. You don't know what you're talking about. See, that's how you know when a person be running off at the mouth. You don't know what you're talking about. That's how people know you don't know what you're talking about. And people that don't know what they're talking about always going around running off at their mouth. See, you provoke other people. And when you provoke other people, see, that's when the prosecuting attorney and that's when the public defender, they get involved. See. But see, it shouldn't even be nothing like that. See, you should get a dictionary, encyclopedia, and educate and inform yourself. So it won't have to be any type of prosecuting attorneys, public defenders. But you insist on being a dumb coward from 2017 and beyond. They ain't gonna take it. It's anti-gang. Anti-gang. Okay? Now, because I mean, you know, we talking about the Latins and the Germans, people that was involved, but then you got other Europeans. You see, people just like you, they'll look over here. You a perfect example of an African being over here, being used by the Latins and the Germans to intimidate other Europeans to support that nonsense. See, the Slavics, they ain't had nothing to do with the Greeks, the Albanians, the Armenians, you know, all kind of groups of people that live in Europe. They're all type of the Ottomans, the Turkish people over in Turkey, the Ottomans, they ain't had nothing to do with no slavery. But when they look over here in America, they look on, as you say, the East Coast. All you Africans on the East Coast, then it's tried to spread, tried to move to the West Coast. Because see, when you know history of America, see, the people have to understand American history. When you see all these African people living beyond what they call the Mason-Dixon line, you move from the East to the West. And so when you see all these people, see, they think they smart. You think you smart. But you're not. And so that's what we continue to stand on is anti-gang. Anti-gang. Now, we've been continuing to go to the Bible, exposing Saul from Tarsus. And rightly so. A liar, a thief, a murderer, the devil. All these man-made religious organizations, Romans chapter 16, verse 16, salute one another with a holy kiss. The church is, that suffix on the end, es, suffix of Christ, salute you. Romans chapter 16, verse 16. Second Thessalonians chapter 1, verse number 4. So that we ourselves glory in you, in the church, with the es suffix on the end, suffix es on the end, of God, for your patience and faith in all your persecution and tribulation that ye endure. Second Thessalonians chapter 1, verse number 4. We know that there are 3 places in the Holy Bible where you talk about that Christians. It's a lie. We know it's a lie. Acts chapter 11. It's Acts chapter 11, verse 26. And then you got Acts chapter 26, verse 28. Then 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 16. Those are the 3 places where they claim, that lie. It's a lie. Talking about being a Christian. It's a 3 places. And then also 2 Peter chapter 3, verses 15 through 18, where the apostle Peter addresses this issue about Saul from Tarsus, the self-proclaimed apostle Paul, calling himself, writing all them lies he wrote in his epistles. And now we know that Saul lied. We go to Acts chapter 9 and read about his conversion. Acts chapter 9, read the whole chapter. Then we go to Acts chapter 22. We know that Saul lied. We go to Acts chapter 22, verse number 9. We know he lied, because when you turn back to Acts chapter 9, verse number 7, he lied. Then you turn to Acts chapter 26, verses 13 and 14. Acts chapter 13, Acts chapter 26, Acts chapter 20, verses 13 and 14. Saul lied. Turn back to Acts chapter 9. And read verse number 7. Saul lied. Now we're going to get ready to end today's video. Again, my name is Eric D. Johnson, also known as BrightShine. I live right here in the city of Memphis. It's in the county Shelby, in the state of Tennessee. And to thank all my fans, my support, for your continued encouragement and support. And as always, we always put God first. And take care of yourself. Wish every one of you the very best.
Significa para mí, no pasando pasa.